Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. This presentation asks the question, is carbon dioxide a pollutant as the EPA claims? Carbon dioxide is actually an essential component of life. Plants and life itself can't exist without it. The more carbon dioxide in the air, the faster plants grow and the more drought resistant they are. Carbon dioxide is invisible, odorless, and non-toxic. The picture on the right is a coal natural gas power plant operating at full capacity. The picture on the left is what the mainstream media wants you to believe CO2 looks like. This is actually a Photoshop picture of shadows underneath harmless water vapor. Carbon dioxide is currently near historic lows in the geologic record at 400 parts per million. 550 million years ago, when corals and shellfish evolved, CO2 levels were more than 10 times higher than they are now. Corals and shellfish are carbonates and they depend on carbon dioxide to grow. They love high levels of CO2. In the late Ordovician, about 430 million years ago, there was an ice age which covered the entire landmass of the Earth. CO2 levels were 10 times higher than they are now. This would seem very inconsistent with the rhetoric of climate alarmists. In the Jurassic period, life thrived, as we saw in the movie Jurassic Park. CO2 levels were 5 times higher than they are now. The blue line shows atmospheric temperature over the last 600 million years, and the gray line shows atmospheric carbon dioxide. As you can see, there's little or no correlation between them. Sometimes CO2 is high and temperatures are low, and vice versa. This is directly contradictory to the rhetoric of climate alarmists. Man actually has a very small impact on the atmosphere. I frequently hear people tell me, oh, we're burning all these fossil fuels. We must be having a huge impact, but we're not. To put this in perspective, this is Michigan Stadium, which holds 110,000 people. Over the past century, atmospheric carbon dioxide has increased by 1 part per 10,000, which is the equivalent of adding an extra 11 people to the stadium, or one side's football squad. That doesn't sound so bad. Another misconception is that the United States controls global carbon dioxide levels. This is simply not true. This is a graph from the New York Times from a few years ago, and it shows that U.S. emissions have actually been declining. And this was due to fracking, which has replaced coal with natural gas, which produces less carbon dioxide. But China's carbon emissions have been skyrocketing as they bring on a new coal-fired power plant every 7 to 10 days. And under the agreement which China made with President Obama, their emissions will continue to skyrocket until the year 2030, at which time they will generate about 4 times as much carbon dioxide as the United States does. So no matter how much Americans feel like they want to do the right thing and reduce our carbon emissions, it really has very little impact on the global carbon budget. Green energy is simply not green. The city of Boulder, Colorado wants to go 100% renewable in a few years. So I generated this picture of what Boulder would look like with enough wind turbines to power the city on a windy day. Of course, they would be no use on a windless day, but it would be a complete mess. Compare this with the current coal natural gas power plant in Boulder, which is so clean and so unobtrusive that most residents are unaware that it's there. In order to have good policy, we have to have good science, not the junk science we're currently getting from government scientists and the mainstream media. Carbon dioxide is simply not a pollutant. Please visit Toto on the web at realclimatescience.com. He's been pulling back the curtain on junk science for a very long time.